Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Not again.
Welcome. In this video, we'll be analyzing Sainte du Mont Hardpoint and correcting your mistakes as well as giving you credit where it's due. Before the actual game analysis starts, let me give you a tip. If the last hill has less than 5 seconds on it and your team has control of the spawns for the next hardpoint, don't respawn immediately or you will spawn closer to the current hill than the next one. This is because spawns are affected by the hardpoint that's active. For example, if your teammates have spawns for second hill on this map and you die on the first hill while it's still active, if you respawn immediately, you will spawn in ammo. And if you wait for the full kill cam to pass and the hill to rotate, you will spawn next to your teammates. Right, on to the analysis then. Off the break, we have 2 people contesting the hill and 2 people watching middle. Please note that the enemy team is having the correct setup, with the exception that the player flipped car isn't watching sandbags, he should be watching sandbags. Your setup here is an evident issue. You don't have anyone trying to flip the spawns through B-bomb, which causes the following problems. A. You let them get control of spawns for the majority of that hill, and B. You let them push into top restaurant, which also helps them control the hill better. Next situation. Notice that the whole team has been taken out and is respawning together at the same time. Also, pay attention to the time on the clock. At this moment in the game, you should have already been rotated or at the very least be contesting for spawns, as this is the enemy team's weakest time, because they have to leave a player in the hill to pick up the rest of the hill time. This is the perfect opportunity to push the next hardpoint spawn together, as it maximizes your chances of getting that spawn. In this moment, all the player on screen has to do is wait. We know, and he knows, that the rest of his team is still way behind him, and that if he pushes this and dies, he will spawn very far away. So in this situation, he just needs to hold his place, or better yet, link up with his teammates in middle map so they can push the spawns together. Luckily for the team, the enemy squad wasn't holding the spawn properly. They didn't have someone holding down the star area, the tunnel at the very back, which caused Winzo to spawn at the back of ammo. At this point, it's important to say that since you have someone in the back, every kill you get is going to spawn out the enemy team. You've got 2 down now and you decide to push spawns. In this case, the player near star needs to wait for his teammate at wine. Luckily, his teammate gets the trade, which allows his team to spawn close to the hill. Here, your anchor gets taken out. You respond very well and manage to hold the hill and get a crucial kill on the spawn itself, but I'd still like to see the player at the close corner in the hill wrap back to help the other person with spawns. It's not a big deal though, because there were only 20 seconds in the hill. In this instance, we're seeing Wesley, the only player fighting for spawns. This is because A. He was the first to rotate, and B. No one else went through middle map, through alley, or grandma's to help him take the spawn. Luckily, he got caught timing on the player keeping spawns and got a free kill, which effectively gave all the team spawn control. But this is not a reliable way to control a spawn. Besides, if you spawn ammo while trying to push the third hill, you can push into top restaurant and then go down the stairs to middle, which relieves the pressure on that kill or kills for spawns. Watch how the other team spawns close to the second hill. This would have happened to you if you didn't break those spawns. In the situation you lose spawns, take the time to go through mid-map and hit the spawns that way. Don't push through B-bomb, but that's the best way to give the enemy team score streaks. You do a very good job on taking over the hill. I recommend having this setup. 1 AR on top of the box, looking over the front. 1 player playing a corner by the entrance to B-bomb. 1 player watching middle just in case they come from restaurant. And 1 player holding spawns at the back, possibly helping out at backstreet. I don't mind having a late rotation this time, simply because you have streaks. But at this point in the game, you should have already rotated. Maybe you have 2 people contesting because you're close to the hill. Either way, this was played the wrong way since there was only 1 player on rotation who ends up getting taken out, giving the enemy control of the 4th hill. Good job staying alive, Travis. It allowed Wesley to get the first kill for hill control. A good choice to use the glide bomb, but a poorly timed one. Let your teammates push up into positions closer to the hill so that the successive kills actually matter, as in, if you get those kills, you immediately get control of the hardpoint. Note, only 24 seconds in the previous hill and no one has rotated. And at 12 seconds on the last hill, still no one has rotated or gotten middle control. Now, if you have the preferred spawns coming from 4th hill, go arches and wine, with wine is the second hill spawn building, to try and retake mid-map and then restaurant. If you're spawning by stable, immediately have your ARs pushing middle map to facilitate your SMG player going into first hill, and have another player going through B-bomb slowly to flip the spawns. The way you go to retake this hill is simply horrible. First, you choose to send two people through last hill to alley, which immediately gives the enemy team spawns, and there's no sort of trading or coordinated push anywhere inside. There's someone top restaurant alone, there's someone challenging courtyard alone, and the last two are flanking through alley. Simply put, what are you doing? If you're going to retake this when you already have spawns, you wait for everyone to spawn in, get mid control first, then push top restaurant and the front of the hill at the same time. This will result in effective trading, and if someone gets a 2-piece, hill, and spawn control. Note, you can also send someone through arches to B-bomb, to top restaurant to get top control, and have 3 people getting mid control and then hill control. You have all players down. First thing you choose to do is headbutt the hill, which means that even if you kill them all, you won't have spawns. Send someone for spawns next time. In this situation, you have good spawns for next rotation and are setting up, but then someone pushes middle, which isn't necessary. Get the early spawn set up and have someone in line holding the entrance, one in star, like you are at the moment, one in the hill, and one in arches trying to slay out the other team. If someone comes through ammo or street into the spawn, the player in line needs to help the anchor with that kill and then go back to line, because there's often more than one person hitting spawns. This is a perfect example of how to anchor and retake a hill. Let's break this down. First, Winzo gets the very important kill in star. If he loses this gunfight, he spawns out, which allows Marco and Travis to spawn directly on him when they die. Then both of the players in hill and the person holding down wine die, and they still spawn on Winzo. This spawn might seem random, but it isn't. If there were 2 people pushing that back spawn, instead of just having one guy at wine, you would have spawned by 3rd hill or at least B-bomb. So make sure you're sending at least 2 people, I recommend 3, to break those spawns. After that, Travis and Wesley push the hill together at the same time from 2 different directions. Well played. This needs to happen more often. That's perfect Call of Duty. Notice how split you are on this rotation. There's someone in restaurant, someone behind them in mid-map, and someone going through field. This can't happen, especially if you know they have control of that side of the map. You should assume they do have control because there's only 18 seconds in the 2nd hill, and they were spawning 4th hill, last hill. Take the time to wait for each other and go together so you can trade effectively and influence the spawns properly. There's no point of getting one person to spawns, in this case Wesley, just for him to get a kill and die, which would mean your entire team would spawn at B-bomb and the enemy would have full control of both spawns and the hill. Be patient and wait for each other. Good use of the fighter pilot there, but next time pick a flight path that goes through the hill and the spawn, so you make sure you spawn them out completely. Also, a perfect spawn break like this from Wesley is a rare thing to happen. Make sure you help him next time, even if it takes more time to get there. At this point, you know they're spawning B-bomb and coming through the front. So in case of the players in middle, make sure you slow down a little and take the time to pre-aim the B cut to kill them as they're coming out. There's no need to rush it recklessly like you did. Here, you have full control of the last hill. Put yourselves in positions where you can easily trade kills. Don't push things if you're unsure or whether you'll get good timings or not. It's often more valuable to prone or sit behind the barrels at mid-cut than it is to challenge those gunfights. Leave those gunfights to your assault rifle player. A good hill break here, but whoever was watching middle needs to be helping his teammates in the hill, since there's already someone top restaurant. Near perfect rotation off spawn. However, have an AR watch middle. This allows for you to have control. Perfect Call of Duty being played here. 3 consecutive holds and an early rotation done correctly. Impressive. Do this more often. You favored hill over spawns, and what happened? You died and everyone spawned out. Don't do this again. Have someone hold star, regardless of what's happening in the hill. That ensures you spawn near the hardpoint. Again, take the time to go through wine and backstreet. Decent use of the glide bomb, but you lost 30 seconds because you only had one player pushing the spawns. Also, bad use of the fire pallet there would have been much more useful on the next hill, and those last 20 seconds are scrap time to set up for the third hill. Especially at this point in the map. Well-executed rotation equals early hardpoint control. Who would have guessed? Don't have 2 people challenging for 13 seconds. This greatly weakens your setup for the last hill of the game. If they got the kill on Wenzel earlier in the hill, they would have won the game. This has been the analysis video for Sainte de Mont Hardpoint. Some perfect plays were made, but too many big mistakes need to be corrected. I'll see you in the next one.
My niggas go insane. You gon' make me step out of my fucking frame. You gon' make me buy bottles for Charlemagne. You gon' make me go out of my fucking way.